Adjustment meeting dated November 23rd, 2022, and for the town of Bradford, West Gwillimbury. And I would like to call the meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. And the first item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda dated November 23rd, 2022. And I need a mover and a seconder for approval, please. Mr. Gavin. Seconder, Mr. Turner. All in favor? Carried. Is there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. And the next is the adoption of the past minutes, dated the recommendation that the minutes of the September 28th, 2022 meeting be adopted as circulated. And I require a mover and a seconder on this, please. Mr. Turner, seconder. Mr. Gavin, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Madam Secretary, do we have any correspondence that's relevant to be received at this time?
There are no additional correspondence this evening, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Order of business is an introduction. The purpose of the meeting is a statutory electronic public hearing held pursuant to the Planning Act to consider applications requesting consents and or minor variances from the provisions of the municipality's zoning bylaws. As per the Planning Act, the hearing of every application shall be held in public, and the committee shall hear the applicant and every other person who desires to be heard in favor of or against the application. Written notice of tonight's hearing was provided to the applicant, prescribed agencies, and adjacent property owners in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act and the applicable regulations. Signage was also provided on the subject property. The meeting procedures, the applicant and or representative will be invited by the committee to provide details of the proposed application and its merits. Following that, the chair will invite the secretary treasurer to present any correspondence received for the application being considered. Members' participation. The members of the committee will be invited to address the applicant and ask questions relevant to the application. Following that, the public will be invited to address the committee to provide comments in support of or opposition to the application. Further action, following the question period, the committee may then make a decision regarding the application to defer consideration of the application, reserve its decision, or adjourn the meeting. Should the committee make a decision approving or refusing the application, the secretary treasurer shall issue written notice of the decision subject to the requirements of the Planning Act. Upon issuance of the decision, a 20-day appeal period is initiated, during which the applicant or the public may appeal the decision of the Committee of Adjustment to the local planning appeal tribunal, subject to the requirements of the Planning Act. And that being said, the first application, the only application this evening, is a minor variance application number D13-22-14. The owners of the property are Tony Vieira and Maria Vieira. The applicant, Tony Vieira, is the applicant, and the location of the property is at 2973 Line 9, north part of Lot 12, Concession 8. The purpose of the application, the applicant is seeking relief from zoning bylaw 2010-050 as amended, respecting interior side yard setback and lot coverage for detached dwellings in the agricultural A zone to facilitate the construction of an addition, being a third car garage, and an expansion to the existing deck. With that, Mr. Vieira, we ask you to make a presentation to the committee, please.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, what we're asking for is the minor variance for the side yard setback and minor variance for the lot coverage of our property. The side yard setback is to accommodate for a third car garage from the side yard setback to 3.6 meters to 2.97 meters, I believe. And the lot coverage is 15%, and we are at 18.8% lot coverage, which the majority of that extra lot coverage is from an attached back porch, covered back porch.
Okay, is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Madam Secretary, do we have any additional correspondence on this application to be considered?
An additional circulation was prepared on November 10th, and we have no members of the public registered to speak or have received any additional comments from the public. However, we received the following additional comments from the Finance Department. Taxes on the following property have been paid to date, and the accounts receivable account is current. Therefore, there are no objections at this time regarding the respective minor variance application. And that's all.
Thank you. Committee members, comments and questions, please. Mr. Gavin?
No
None?
comment.
Thank you. Mr. Turner?
No comment.
Thank you. And I have none. And I drove by the property. I saw the property. I can visualize what's going to happen. And all is good with me. So members of the public, is there any members of the public that's been registered to speak on the application?
No, none this evening, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I ask that a motion be put forward by the committee to accept or not accept. Mr. Turner?
I put forward a motion to accept the application subject to the conditions laid out in the staff report.
Thank you. Seconder? Mr. Gavin? All right, all in favor? My hand is up as well, so that makes it a majority. Thank you very much, Ms. Rivero, and good luck with your project.
Thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
Have a good evening.
Nice
Likewise.
night.
Take care.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is in any other business at this time? None?
I just did want to highlight, Mr. Chair, that the town is seeking members for the Committee of Adjustment for next term. So the link is in the agenda, and we can also send it to everyone just so they're aware that they can apply as well.
Okay, thank you very much. And with that, recommendation that the meeting is hereby adjourned at 6:45 p.m. All in favor? Thank you. And